the time that I am filming this, it is Batman vs. Superman's 4th birthday, so happy birthday to Batman vs. Superman. If you haven't, you should watch the 30-minute analyzation video that I have uploaded on my YouTube channel, which I will leave in the description. But anyways, this is a Q&A video. I have quite a lot of questions to answer, so let's get started. First question is movie and book releases for 2020 that I'm most excited for. There are some movies that I'm keeping an eye out for, but the one that I'm like excited for is Birds of Prey, which already came out, so y'all should watch that. And the book that I'm excited for is The Burning God, which is the third and final book, The Poppy War. Okay, top 3 favorite movies. Parentheses, not comic book movies. That is so rude because I have 4 favorite movies, and one is a superhero movie, and I'm sure y'all can guess which one it is. I feel like favorite is such like a complicated word because there's a lot to appreciate in movies, like favorite script, favorite casting, favorite costumes, but like overall I have like about 4 favorite movies that I just like absolutely love, and it is, well, excluding the superhero one, my top 4 would be 8th Grade, Pan's Labyrinth, and Mad Max Fury Road, which is the same favorite movies listed on my letterbox, so I'm sorry to the person who asked this because they already know the answers to this question. Your least favorite characters from your favorite series. I'm assuming that this is for books, and there isn't really like characters that I dislike, like other than, you know, the quote-unquote bad guys in the books, which like obviously I'm gonna dislike them. So I'm just gonna do a TV show, and for the TV show I'm gonna do it's Game of Thrones, which obviously has books, but the books are not one of my favorite series, but the TV show is. And Bran is fucking useless in that show. I do not understand him at all, and I hate watching his episodes. It's like the absolute worst. I hate watching it. So a few people asked this question, and it is, what is your favorite hair color? I did a Gerard Way, like bright red, which faded into a hot pink. There was another one that I liked. It was like a purple silvery color, but it was very hard to manage because it washed out very quickly, but when it was freshly dyed, it looked really great. So these are 3 different questions that are asked by 3 different people, but I'm just gonna combine them because it'd be easier for me to answer. What's the best thing about your program at university, and what's your favorite thing about your major and your courses? Because I go to a university in San Francisco, which is commonly known to be more progressive, a lot of my classmates and my material is aware of marginalized groups and their struggles, and I really appreciate that because I'm originally from a part of California that is very Republican, very conservative, so a lot of the material that I used to study before did not really consider marginalized perspectives. So I'm really happy that now the courses that I'm taking consider marginalized people in their studies. It's still not perfect, honestly. San Francisco is not as progressive as some people think it to be. I know that people think that San Francisco is like the safe haven for LGBTQ plus people, but like it's not as amazing as you would think it would to be. But yeah, awareness of marginalized groups is what I really love about my courses in my major because I get to read research articles about them. How do you get into the DC universe? It's so large. Pro tip, don't. The comic book fan base, which is intertwined with the film community, it's the absolute worst fan base that I've ever been part of. I abandoned it 3 years ago or so. Best decision I've ever made. And then I came back in 2019, which was also the best decision I've ever made. But fan base is fucking terrible. We are all pretentious dickheads, which makes it very stressful and annoying to be part of the DC fan base. It's a struggle being a DC fan. I swear to God, it's a goddamn struggle. Anyways, this is completely unrelated to the question. So usually people respond to this question by saying like, think of a character and just pick up a random comic with them in it and you'll be fine. And it's like, wrong, absolutely wrong. Because comics, specifically DC and Marvel, you know, these characters have been around for a really long time and there's so many different stories. So obviously there are different authors for each series. So it's very easy for characters to be OOC, but technically it's like canon, but like it's OOC. Sorry, I don't think this is really making a lot of sense, but for example, a really common OOC characterization for Batman would be that he is an abusive parent. He psychologically and physically has been abusive to his children in some recent series, and that's really upsetting because he isn't abusive, but because he's being portrayed like this, at some point it's gonna become canon that he's gonna be an abusive parent, which is extremely upsetting for me as a Batman fan. Yeah, so that's why I don't think it's great to just pick up a random comic, because you might pick up a comic that is completely out of character and you're gonna read it and be like, dang, I don't like this character at all. They're really boring, they're really shitty, something. And it's not a very good way to be introduced to a character. But unfortunately, you can't avoid shitty comics. It's unavoidable to read a shitty comic. Yes, I'm really not answering your question properly. Methods that you can use. Honestly, it just depends on what you're looking for. You can look through master lists of a character or group of people. And so those are basically lists of everything that character or group has been in. You can just pick random comics and just try them, which that didn't work for me, but maybe that will work for you. You can look for content specific comics. Like sometimes I Google pictures of Hal Jordan, which is Green Lantern, and Batman interacting. Usually if it's like on Twitter or Tumblr, in the tags or in the caption, someone will say what issue and comic it's from, and then I will read it. Even if I don't like the story of that, I will at least like the interactions, and you can get to know the characters that way. Just try different things, and keep in mind that not every comic is going to be your taste, but that doesn't mean that all of them suck. So just try different shit, you'll find something. Or hey, you can just watch the movies and TV shows first. Not all the TV shows. I do not recommend all the TV shows. Do not watch Titans on DC Universe. But you can watch Doom Patrol. That is their only good TV show. And Swamp Thing, but Swamp Thing was cancelled, so. Who's your favorite in the Umbrella Academy? Ben, which I might be biased because he's Asian, but also he's like the most violent out of the characters, and that's what I liked the most. I was really obsessed with his power, and his circumstance is really tragic and angsty, so I think it's really great. Do you have any favorite non-DC/Marvel comics? No, I don't. I'm assuming you mean like graphic novels and comic books. No, not really. But if we're including manga and webcomics, I like 19 Days, Tamen Degushi, which is Our Story in English, Edith, Shoot Around, and Ava's Demon. I'm sure there are some more, but those are the ones I could think of off the top of my head. When did you know what you wanted to study in uni? I love your courses, by the way. Thank you. I like them too. I learned from experience. In high school, I did a lot of volunteer work. I joined a lot of volunteer clubs. I worked at a nonprofit organization. I was an after-school mentor for a local middle school. Not necessarily like an academic mentor. I was just more of like a social mentor, I guess. I would just like, you know, work with them, help them gain self-confidence and gain friendships with other students. I volunteered at the animal shelter. I volunteered at the hospital. Basically, all of that experience from volunteer work led me to the conclusion that I like helping people socially and psychologically. But yeah, I just learned through experience. Funny story, I have a completely different major from what I had a year ago. I am a child and adolescent development major with a concentration in youth work and out of school time. I was originally a psychology major, and I was set on that for 3 years. And then when you apply to transfer to a different college, you have to list an alternative major. And then I was accepted into one of my first choices for my alternative major, and I was like, bro, what the heck? Like, this is not the major that I wanted to go here for. I was like kind of stressed out, but I was reading into the major, which was child and adolescence development, and I realized that I actually kind of like it more than psychology because, well, I loved psychology, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of focus on research and statistics and graphing, which like I enjoyed, but that was like an intro class to analytical research and statistics. That's probably why I enjoyed it. I knew that as I started taking harder courses, it was going to be a huge challenge for me, and I didn't know if I would really enjoy that. But child and adolescence development is solely focusing on social sciences, so like their development socially, environmentally, blah 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 blah. So child and adolescence development is basically like psychology, just without research and statistics, which is perfect for me, and that's why I really liked that I switched. Next question is, what was your favorite cinema going experience? The answer for this question, I'm gonna focus on like the crowd experience, because I think that really changes how you enjoy the movie. Not really like if you don't have a crowd you won't enjoy it, but just like it's fun, like having a collective experience with the crowd. I don't know how to explain it. It's just really great. You see this a lot for like horror movies like Insidious 2 and Happy Death Day. I went with my friends, opening nights, and like everybody was like screaming and gasping at the same time, and it was really great, and I loved that experience. More recently, Parasite, Emma, and Birds of Prey, the crowd was just amazing, and it was a really good experience. When was the first time you dyed your hair? So I had to look this up, and it was March 27, 2018. DC Comics we should all read. It's just really hard to recommend comics because it's like there's strengths and weaknesses in every comic, and I don't know what that person is gonna enjoy. You know, are they looking for plot? Are they looking for accurate characterization of those characters? I don't know. It's very hard to recommend comics. There's only one comic that I like overall enjoyed, zero problems at all, and it was Doom Patrol 2016 by Gerard Way. But even then, I wouldn't really recommend it to people because it's super fucking confusing. The only reason why I was able to follow along was because I had background knowledge from the TV show. Some other comics that I thought was really great, not because the plot was that good, but because the characters are really great to read about. Super Sons 2017 and Adventures of the Super Sons 2018. There is another Super Sons out there. I don't recall who the author is. I'll just put a picture of the issue or the cover right here. They whitewashed Damian Wayne. Very bad comic. I absolutely do not recommend that one. But Super Sons 2017 and Adventure of the Super Sons 2018, I will recommend that one. Your opinions on Harry Potter as a series, fandom, and the author. J.K. Rowling is transphobic, homophobic, racist, overall terrible person. Absolutely hate her. Her books, absolutely terrible. A lot of her literary ideas were inspired by racism and other problematic ideas. The only reason why I got into Harry Potter was because of the fan content, and the only reason why I think the franchise is as popular as it is still is because of the fan content. Yeah, J.K. Rowling, fuck that bitch. Pick a fictional crew you'd like to hang out with. I'm gonna group them in different groups just because I think some characters wouldn't clash well together. Jaskier from Witcher TV show, or the books. Honestly, he's the same in both of them, and I absolutely love him. Okay, Billy Batson, Damian Wayne, John Kent. The three of them together. Oh my god, I would love that experience. And you know what? Jaskier can come too. I bet he's super great with kids. It's gonna be fucking fantastic. Oh my god. I would love to hang out with Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy. Maybe not that long, just because I think their chaotic energy is a little too much for me to handle. Oh, I want to hang out with Venom. Venom. Movie Venom is all I know. I don't know anything about the comics. I've never read anything with Venom in it, but oh my god, absolute. I would love to hang out with Venom, please. Like that domestic life. Oh my god. Shh. Oh, Akko from Little Witch Academia and Mako from Kill la Kill. I would love to hang out with both of them together. Oh my god, the chaotic dumbass energy we would have together would be hilarious, and that'd be just a great experience. Oh my god, there's so many characters. You're probably surprised I didn't mention Batman and Superman, and it's because I'm fucking terrified of I can't imagine me interacting with them. I'd be like so stupid around them, and that'd be so embarrassing. And so, no, I'd rather not meet them. I think they would hate me. I think they would find me fucking annoying and they would hate me. So I don't want to hang out with them ever. What is one movie you think everyone should watch? There are a lot of different answers to the question with a lot of different reasons. Batman versus Superman, because we as a society need to fucking reevaluate what a superhero movie should look like. That was a joke. Oh my god. I'm sorry. That was a joke, guys. There's not a way that superhero movies should look like, but it definitely shouldn't look like some movies. Okay, no pettiness in this video. No hate. We're not gonna do that today. No. Serious answer. Batman vs. Superman and Man of Steel. They're two separate movies, but I think they go together for this answer. These two movies have parallels to fear in our society and how we treat people who are different from us, especially immigrants, which is like a direct parallel in the movie and in our world. And I love the analysis of power and corruption in Batman vs. Superman, and then, you know, applying that to our world. I think it's a fucking fantastic movie. Ooh, another really good movie would be 8th Grade. I've seen a lot of coming of age movies, but none of them hit as hard as 8th Grade. And like, I don't know, like, it's different from other coming of age movies. I'm not gonna explain it because then it's gonna be a movie analyzation, and that's not what this video is. I think it's an eye-opener for parents who don't understand the trend of heightened anxiety in a lot of youth recently, and trend as in like trend statistically because it's been going higher, not trend because it's trendy. A lot of people should watch it. I think that the messages will fly over some people's heads, but they should watch it anyway. Other films that I would love to mention, but I'm not going to because this was supposed to be one movie, is Honey Boy, Parasite, and Mad Max Fury Road, because there are socio-political messages in those movies that I think we can all learn from, and they're also just really fucking cool movies, and I think they should watch it. I'm thinking I want to start a YouTube, but I'm super uncomfortable in front of a camera. Advice? Podcasts. Make a podcast, just upload it on YouTube. Or you can do voiceovers, film, I don't know, clips of movies, film the environment, or film other people, not you, and then just talk over the voiceovers. But if your end goal is to put yourself in front of a camera, my advice would be, you just gotta hype yourself up, man. You just gotta hype yourself up. Honestly, the process of self-acceptance goes hand in hand with starting a YouTube channel, because you are essentially posting videos of you talking. You have to watch yourself talk, you have to hear yourself talk, and then you have to also edit those videos and hear yourself talk over and over and over and over. You're putting your own opinions out there on the internet and sharing your stuff with other people, and that's like, it's impossible to not go through this process of self-acceptance. And I don't know, maybe it's therapeutic for you, maybe it's a real struggle. It was great for me, and hopefully it's great for you. Do you record YouTube videos with your phone, or do you have a camera? And how do you edit? I have an iPhone XS, and I use iMovie, which comes free with Apple. Hopefully you have an Apple product. Favorite coming of age movie? Oh, I kind of answered that already. But there's 3. It's Shazam, Honey Boy, and 8th Grade. Honey Boy is kind of like complicated. I'm not really sure. I think it's a coming of age film because it's a coming of age film for my personal experiences. I'm not really sure if it is considered a coming of age film. What would have been your second choice for college? Short answer is San Jose State University, which isn't too far from San Francisco. Honestly, I just applied to different universities because I didn't know what university was going to accept me. San Francisco wasn't even my first choice. I kind of just chose it because it's a very small campus and a lot of the stores are right next to the campus, so I didn't have to worry about traveling too far to get necessities. I was very afraid of going out of my apartment I've kind of gotten used to it now, but like, man, at the time, that was a big concern for me, and so that's why I chose San Francisco. What do you want to do with your degree? Is there a certain group of people you want to work with? So I want to go in social work. Again, my major is child and adolescence development, with a concentration in youth work and out of school time. Just to elaborate on concentrations, there are 3 concentrations. Early childhood, which is like babies and toddlers and preschoolers. Middle age, or school age, something like that, which is basically grade school. And the last one, which is my concentration, which is youth work and out of school time, which is basically teenagers and adults. So basic concentration is basically like everyone in that major has basically the same classes to take, but because child and adolescence is such like a broad range of ages and there's different things that you need to study and like they're different from each other, you have to choose a concentration and you get to have some different classes from everybody else in your major that's more targeted towards the age groups that you want to study. I want to be a social worker. There's many different majors that you can have to be a social worker, but I chose child and adolescence development. Social work is a very broad career. You can be a therapist, you can work in advocacy, you can work in policy writing and revising for local state governments, or you could be a stereotypical social worker and work in case study. You're assigned like patients and you regularly check up on them, which is what I want to do, but honestly I'll just take whatever I can get. I'm not really picky because in this economy it's very hard to find a job. To answer the second question, which was, is there a certain group of people you want to work with? Formally, there isn't a way to specify what group you want to work with, but like once you're in the job, I think you can kind of like tailor what kind of patients you get. Personally, I want to work with LGBTQ plus people, preferably youth, but I wouldn't be against adults. Last question is, did you always love watching / analyzing movies? No, I did not, and honestly, I'm not sure if I have like an exact answer for this question. I used to have a fan account for TV shows and movies on Twitter, and the community that I was part of analyzed characters' behaviors, because, you know, character analyzation is fun, especially when you have pairings and you want to think about why the character acted the way that they did. And because a lot of people in that community I was part of are queer, that analyzation also carried on into analyzing queer rep. Not so much trans and non-binary representation. Trans and NB allyship and awareness wasn't really actively practiced at the time, for me anyways. So mainly I was focusing on like sexuality representation. I was exposed to analyzing stereotypes, misconceptions, queer baiting, harmful tropes, etc., etc. And as I got older, I gained more and more knowledge about marginalized groups and how they are oppressed, and then I applied that to my life and my behaviors and the content that I consume, and eventually just became analyzing films and not just analyzing representation. That's all I have to say. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for being interested about my life, and yeah, bye-bye.